Oh, quick question. Does anybody like the new phase with these, I don't want to call them millennial chicks because some of these young ladies are kind of old, like black lipstick.
Oh, no.
All right, then I'm good.
Who was it that...
I hope that somebody sees this because I hate it. I despise it.
Who was it that we were looking at earlier that had the black lipstick in your butt? She was wearing the Guest t-shirt in that video?
Oh, Janae. Her new video, you have to bleep it. It's the video. The name of the song is Bitches and Hoes. But she usually never does that, and then all of a sudden she has gothic face on.
I don't understand it.
I don't get the fade either.
It's like the Twilight era when
yeah,
Twilight
well,
was like...
it's very goth, it seems like.
It's a very ugly fad, and I hope it dies tonight.
Slow. Push it down the stairs, JP. Push it down the stairs.
Now, was it black lipstick, or was it like a very dark red? Like that really dark...
It's a super dark purple that goes into black, so it might as well be black lip. I'm not feeling it. I wish all y'all would just stop it. Stop. God didn't make your lips black for a reason.
It's a valid point.
What else is going on? We haven't talked about this, Evan. Do you care to share Sparky's exploits in the media?
Sure.
What's going
on? I heard about this
Sparky
bit,
almost world famous.
Sparky almost world famous. So we, my dog got reached out to by a producer on Instagram.
His dog is Instagram famous.
A woman,
but not wearing black lipstick,
who was trying to get these dogs for a show on a unknown television channel. We did a Skype interview with said producer, interviewing on Sparky's eligibility for this show, and probably about 5 weeks have gone by. We've not heard back. And I just want to say that, producer ma'am, wrong call.
Producer ma'am.
Wrong call.
All right, let's start the show. And welcome back into the bullpen. It is March 23rd. Everybody's here in the bullpen. Brandon, Evan, JP, Dan. It's madness. It's madness, I tell you. Late March. We're in the throes of the NCAA tournament here. But first things first, please do keep in touch with us. We're waiting for your messages, your tweets. Cliff, we love you. Andy Behrens, we love you. But guys, we need more. We need more.
Now one of us paid rent in 2 months. We got eviction notices on our front doors. Okay,
we're actually all living together.
In this very room.
Yeah.
No,
in the dungeon because y'all don't follow directions.
We're going to have to change the name of the podcast to the Dungeon Pod.
Anyway, please reach out to us at the Bullpen Pod on Twitter.
Hi, Andy.
bullpenpodcast@gmail.com. Leave us a comment on the YouTube page.
Villanova.
Please be in touch with us. We want to talk about what you want to hear about. Give us comments, feedbacks on the show, whatever you want. But speaking of names of the show, we had an Ask JP question from the last episode that we didn't get to.
I think it came in like right as we were finishing.
Yeah, it was right at the end. And this is a good one because we've never actually answered this question before. Our good friend Liat, who was a colleague of ours for quite a while.
Free Triot.
She lives now in Southern California. She tweeted in at us and she said, "Why is a bullpen called a bullpen?" The literal answer of which for baseball was because when they used to play in the old stadiums where they'd have the rodeo, that actually they'd put the extra pitchers in the bullpen. But why is our show called the bullpen? Anybody want to take this one?
Well, it was where our desks used to be located.
That's exactly right.
It's called the bullpen.
Well, you had your own cube.
True.
This is when we had, before we moved to like the straight line desks, and when we all actually had like cubicles and walls within those cubicles, you had your own cubicle.
Right.
Dan, myself, and JP, we were all in one like extended cubicle.
It was a big cube.
But you were right across the way from us there.
We were all in the bullpen.
Yeah, and then when the walls came down, we could see each other a little bit more.
Jericho?
The walls came
Remember
down.
they were up and you couldn't see Evan, you just hear him?
Yeah. We would throw crap over
It was
over the walls
awkward.
to each other.
It was awkward actually seeing these ugly mugs all the time.
Anyway, so that's why our show is called The Bullpen, and yeah.
I think you gave it the name The Bullpen.
I wasn't here
I think
for
we
the,
just- I
for
think
the
we just
things
started
coming down.
Yeah, they were already down when you got here.
Yeah. When you showed up, the walls were already down. Yeah.
I was in my rookie season.
All
Throwing
right.
heat out the bullpen.
What do you guys think of the tournament so far?
Hey, I think that you and I had the best and worst tournament of all time.
Oh my God,
That was great.
No, just the whole week too, because of how they got into the tournament, winning their conference. Like that was just a complete up and it was more up and then down.
So
all those guys need to be screened for PTSD.
did you guys see LeBron?
Yeah.
LeBron told ESPN in an interview that if he played for Northern Iowa, he would quit basketball after that
that's
Texas
kinda
A&M game.
sideways because he never played a college game in his life, so I don't think he should ever weigh in on college hoops.
Plus, that sounds about right for LeBron to quit in the fourth
I was gonna
quarter.
say, wow. I was waiting for somebody to drop that.
You gonna come after Westbrook, LeBron, or what? I hope you see this. We're gonna tag you. I promise you, we're gonna tag you.
But what a great opening weekend. That Friday was insane. That was so much fun.
I think there was 13 games.
13 upsets.
No. 13 out of the
32.
13 out of the whole weekend. So 13 out of the 48 games were decided by 5 points or less.
Oh, I was going to say there were 13 upsets in the first round.
Well, yeah, but that too.
Yeah.
So,
That's
you mix all that kind
crazy.
of stuff. And then like the night that you and I hit the half court shot, and then like literally within 5 real-time minutes, there was the Cincinnati St. Joe's
that was
game
over the
where like his fingers kind of on the ball's halfway through the bucket, and his fingers still kind of on it. That's such a
on the failed dunk. That's why you finger roll it, buddy.
Well,
no.
yeah.
If he finger rolled it, he would have extended.
Yeah,
Well,
he needed to throw
would've
it down.
been-
He needed to just like.
with some for just let it go.
Yeah.
Don't you think at
But
that
you're not thinking that kind of stuff when it's that close.
Not in a split second.
No.
if you're the refs in that situation,
I'd have
right,
gave it to him. I'd have been like,
let him play overtime.
bucket.
It wasn't a winner.
Yeah.
If it
Yeah,
was
exactly.
a winner, then you got to think about it, right? But
Right.
give him the bucket, let him go figure it out in overtime.
Well, I think
don't
if that
know.
was a game winner that would have broken a tie, I think you call it no bucket and you let him go to overtime again. I think that
Right.
game was so
Sure,
good.
sure.
keep playing.
Either way, yeah.
Buffalo
I
Wild
was gonna
Wings.
say hit that B-dubs button and just keep
Buffalo
going.
Wild Wings, baby.
Now, I know there was a lot of talk about all the parity in college basketball this year, and it was even on Tourney Bracket.
Yeah.
It talked about how
I think that's
it was
why-
kind of wide open. But I mean,
That's why I'm not shocked.
You look at the 16 that are left, and none of these teams are really, I think, a huge surprise. Syracuse is probably the biggest surprise.
I think Gonzaga, because people don't watch them enough.
Sure.
I picked them to just go to the Sweet 16, though.
But seeing Gonzaga in the Sweet 16 is not a big surprise. Like the name Gonzaga.
right, it's not
Sweet 16 is
surprising,
not
but
surprising.
yeah.
But based on
Everybody
the
bet
play-
against the Terps. Everybody said because they had a terrible end of season that they were probably going to lose in the first round, and they
Well, they almost they had
Close.
they had a fight in that second round game. That Kansas game, they're gonna get.
well, like Brandy said, almost doesn't count.
Yeah, true.
is Wisconsin a little bit of a surprise given the talent they lost last year?
The refs gave them that game, dude. I just.
Oh, you're talking
Flop
about the
City?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
understand in college hoops, especially how you can just literally dive in front of somebody and fall down, and you almost get the charge every time. Like, and I was talking to Bardo about it when he was in the green room. Like, nobody plays straight up defense. Nobody wants you just to lock up a guy.
Yeah.
It's like, no, let me just run to where I think you're going, stand there, and then fall when you tap me. Like, dude. He literally jumped to the spot. His feet were still moving, and he got a charge.
Yeah.
Like, that was with the game
That
on
was
the
a bad-
line.
that's a bad call.
That foul ends it. Like,
Yeah.
that being a block, he could have made one free throw. The game would have been over.
Yeah.
But then you get to run down and hit a magical three-pointer because the refs extended your hoop dreams. I don't like it.
No, I was going back and forth with you about it. Like, I feel like the block charge is more confusing than what a catch is in the NFL.
Yeah.
To me,
Yeah.
because it's
such a
called
gray area,
so
yeah.
off and on. It's not consistent at all. And I get that that's a really tough thing to call, but it really shouldn't be, because even if you watch it in fast motion, you can see if a guy's feet are moving. If a guy's set,
He was in
he's
the
set.
air.
Yeah, he was
Like in the
his
air
feet
when he got
weren't
hit.
on the ground. Like,
But then with under 10 seconds and you're trying to take a charge, that shouldn't even be allowed. You need to either steal the ball, block the shot, or foul him on the floor.
Yeah.
Now I'm just going to dive in front of you so I can get this phantom call. We're just going to go down the court and win the game.
yeah, there was some shoddy
I
refereeing.
mean, college refs been trashed since the beginning of last football season, so this is par
true,
for the
yeah.
course.
What about Notre Dame? Is there anything like? Was this a surprise? I feel like I
was
didn't hear
roo-
much
I was
about them
rooting for
all
walk
year,
up.
and then
Oh yeah, I mean, after what Stephen F. Austin did in the first round, I really was hoping
Yeah.
they would do it again. But like that walk-up kid, he can play for me any day of the week. Like that
Man,
that guy needs to be in the league somewhere.
Rec league basketball game All-American.
Like if there were if Westbrook had the heart of walk-up, he'd be the best player in the NBA.
Okay,
That's your boy,
No. Let me take this further. If Evan had the basketball IQ of walk up, he would be the best basketball player in the league. Because
I've got the skill.
Thank you. Because Russ has a peanut brain. Like 99 athleticism, awareness is probably in the 60s.
You're going to make UCLA joke here?
We're not even going to say that name aloud. That's blasphemous.
No, I'm not too shocked, though, about Notre Dame.
I was going to say, to your point, Dan, about Notre Dame, I mean, they finished 5th in the ACC, right behind Louisville.
And that's a tough conference.
Isn't in the tournament ahead of Duke. I mean, I'm not too surprised.
Yeah. I mean, they beat Duke in the conference. They beat Duke twice this year.
How surprised is Sean King going to be?
And they also
when Duke
beat Carolina,
Oregon?
too, so.
Well, let's okay.
I don't think that's a layup. Oregon just doesn't.
I know. I was going to say
they look kind of like they look a little out of place.
They were very shaky against St.
They were
Joe's.
really shaky
Late in the
against
Let's
St. Joe's. I mean, I know
picks.
they're a decent team, but come on.
Let's make some picks here. Let's start in the West since that's where we were. We've got Oregon, Duke.
Oregon. This is the first time in my life I rooted for the Ducks. Ever.
Oregon, Duke, and A&M, Oklahoma.
Are we picking the winner out of the regional, or are we just picking each of those games?
We can pick the regional winner since we won't be back. So of those 4 teams, Oregon's gonna play Duke and A&M's gonna play Oklahoma. So what do you think?
Buddy Buckets.
Yeah, Buddy Hield for president.
Yeah.
Oklahoma.
I mean, originally I think I had A&M on my bracket. Just because I wanted to be a little different. I think I had A&M and Baylor.
Brad had them too, yeah.
But the way Oklahoma's playing right now, man, they're too good.
Not even as a team. Do you see how sexy he gets in the second half?
Like I want Buddy Hield on the Timberwolves so bad. Ooh. I don't know what they have to do, but if they can get Buddy Hield,
Wiggins and Hield with Karl Anthony Towns and little skinny Rubio
and Levine.
Yeah, but they almost
that's a nasty five.
They almost screwed that up against VCU. I mean, that wasn't a gimme.
Yeah, but in the tournament, you have that one hot guy who can just
all you
turn
need.
it on.
Like that's the thing, and you just need that one guy. And Buddy Hield is the best of that one
he
guy.
Took that carrying his team for
he's
been carrying his team for 2 years.
Right.
All right, so Oklahoma out of the West. Let's look at the South here. Kansas, Maryland, Miami, Villanova. All they're 1, 2, 3, and 5.
That's hard to root against the Jayhawks. Period. I mean, you could not like Kansas, but if we're talking numbers, that team is strong. And they have a 16-year senior in Perry Ellis. Like, he's played as much basketball as LeBron James.
His kid's actually going to be going to Kansas next year.
I wouldn't doubt that. Probably pre-enrolled.
Ev, who do you like out of here?
I agree, JP. Hard to go against Kansas, but I think Miami's going to get to that Elite Eight game. And give them a
I don't
real
trust
challenge.
Nova at all. I trust Nova about as much as a 2 seed, like I trust Xavier as a 2 seed. That's like, no.
If Jakari can beat up Perry Ellis in the post, I mean, they have a shot, but Wayne Selden is unstoppable. And Angel Rodriguez is a baller, but Rodriguez wants nothing to do with
Kansas's
Selden Jr.
bracket to lose, I think, in the South.
I mean, Nova's had 2 20-point wins. I mean, I know they had Asheville, and then an Iowa team that's really been struggling. But
Jay Wright's going to Jay Wright
Miami's
at
games
some
have been a
point.
little closer. I don't know.
Yeah, they're gonna. I mean,
although the Shockers were hot,
they're gonna have to face an actual team in Miami this week.
But they actually beat Wichita, which arguably the best defensive team in the tournament. So that says a lot.
All right, so that's the South. What else do we got here? Let me roll down. I'm getting there. Okay, East Regional, North Carolina, Indiana, Notre Dame, Wisconsin.
That was Carolina's to lose, obviously, but that's kind of what
that
they've
Indiana
done
game scares me a little bit.
Yeah.
But Joel Berry against Yogi, that's going to be a fun matchup to watch because Joel Berry is one guy who actually does play defense. He doesn't just jump to the spot. He actually gets after the opposing point guard.
Page doesn't like to play defense that much.
No, he doesn't.
Which is weird.
And Page won't be on him because they like to free up Page so he can run the floor. Page is actually the 2 in this team now. He's not the Barry's more of the true point guard. He kind of runs the show for him now.
Well, as long as Page doesn't have to play any defense on Yogi Ferrell, I like the chance.
Yeah.
But if they start doing the whole switch thing,
right,
that could get ugly.
What about the other side?
But you guys still have Bryce Johnson, who's second to Buddy Hield and the greatest player in college basketball
that block
currently.
He had against Providence where he literally hit it into your living room.
Yeah, he's stupid athletic. Another lottery pick.
What about the other side?
Notre Dame.
Badgers?
I mean, I care nothing about either team in that game.
I just hope they
because neither team could beat the teams above them.
I hope it goes to like 5 overtime so they're just exhausted.
Well, yeah, for your sake, yeah.
I hope that Bronson gets dunked on and ends up on a slam poster for trying to take a charge in the paint because he's soft.
We know who JP is.
All right, so Carolina, I think, is the consensus.
Yeah.
All right, Midwest, Virginia, Iowa State, Gonzaga, Syracuse. Will we see a double-digit seed in the Final Four?
First glance for me, I mean, Virginia is probably the favorite, but part of me can see
Iowa
a reason
State
for any
battle
4 of
the
those
hell out of
teams
it.
getting in.
Yeah.
Any 4 of them. I mean,
I think Syracuse is
hot.
probably of the four, they probably have the lowest chance of the four.
Sure.
But yeah, I think you're right. Any four of them can.
But besides Niang, who is going to score on Iowa State? Because Virginia got the sexiest defense now that Wichita's out. Like, where are the points going to come from for Iowa State?
Yeah.
Like, they're going to be very tough to come by.
Well, Virginia doesn't exactly like a lot. There are some games where they don't put up a lot of points.
That's very
either.
true, but they'll still win by 3 because they've got such amazing team defense. So I could take. They're like the Ravens back when Ray Lewis was playing. They had Trent Dilfer. Like, we don't have to score a lot, but because we stop you when it counts.
Yeah.
It's like they're going to be a ton of turnovers on that Iowa State side.
So you guys thinking Virginia then? I mean, Gonzaga's a 4.5-point favorite. Virginia's 5-point favorite. Let's say they both win and you get that matchup.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna throw Gonzaga into the Final Four. That's what I'm gonna do.
They got
as an 11.
Sabonis Jr.
Sabonis Jr. They got some height on that team. And Wilcher.
People remember when he was going to Kentucky?
Yep.
People say this every year, I feel, but if Mark Few doesn't get to the Final Four this year, he'll never make it.
Yeah.
He's never had a team this solid.
Oh, that Adam Morrison team was pretty good with Tourney.
We watched that back in the green room when we were watching the game.
Pepperoni. Well, you see how soft Morrison was when he cried.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Don't call me Ronnie. Call me Pepperoni.
The fact that he still became a lottery pick after that whoever that GM was should not have a job.
And where is he now?
How did he never get an endorsement deal with Kleenex?
I don't know. That's a really good question. That's a really good question.
He made so much money.
Blame his agent.
So if we take the Bullpen's Final Four here from who we just picked,
it's a lot of chalk.
We've got Kansas, Kansas, Oklahoma, Carolina, and we'll say Gonzaga because that was kind of the or Virginia. I mean, okay, so let's just of those teams.
If we're going consensus, we'll go Virginia.
Okay, so that's 2 number ones.
That's 3 number ones
and a 2. So
who wins the national championship? Which still goes to Evan's point of he said not all number 1 seeds were going to make it or whatever. Or
I said no number
ones. Actually, okay, so it'll be
still
the
possible.
exact opposite.
Still possible.
Yeah, it's still possible. You still got a chance.
So is it who's got to be the pick there?
I'm really sounding like a flip flop.
I mean
Kansas, North Carolina.
I got to go with my squad.
Well, yeah. You guys think
I want to see Buddy Hield get a national title, but his teammates, they remind me of Bron on the Heat. Mm-hmm. Like they just kind of stare at him and watch him be magical. like dog, you could also crash the board. You might want to get open yourself and hit a 3-pointer.
Could you make me some coffee?
I mean, there are 3 guys around me, and you're just kind of staring with your eyes wide open.
Why'd you unfollow me on Twitter?
All right.
Could you imagine if they had Twitter when Jordan was playing?
Would they have
the stories that he would have been?
Would they have crying Elgin Baylor?
Who did Mandel say he was when he was in Vegas? What was the name he used? When he wore the blonde wig when he went there?
Evan Doherty.
Buddy?
No. Right,
Billy?
That would have been
Billy?
Billy.
Billy Manziel or something.
Billy Manziel.
Yeah.
All right. So
not Ron Mexico. That was Michael Vick.
That would have been the equivalent of Jordan in the day.
So the matchups would be, hypothetically here, it would be Oklahoma and Kansas,
which has played
Carolina, which they've played, and then Carolina, Virginia, which they've played. And Carolina beat Virginia in the final, but then lost to him in the regular season.
Seeing Buddy Hield face Kansas for the 3rd time sounds good for Oklahoma.
For Oklahoma, yeah.
I'll take Oklahoma. I'll be the one. I have him on one of my brackets in a pool that I'm in. Oklahoma winning it all. Let's just do it.
Do it.
I'm going to take Oklahoma. Who are you guys taking?
Wow.
Final. I know you're taking Carolina.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for JT3 to get fired.
Ev, make a call.
I got to stick with Kansas.
Kansas?
Well-rounded.
Bill Self?
I don't like Babutta.
But
Kansas is well-rounded, man.
JP?
Let's be funny. And let's pick Buddy Hield, the Jamaican sensation.
Love it. All right. We'll report back on those. NFL owners meetings going on this week.
By the way.
Bahamas?
My bad, sorry.
Did you say Jamaica?
Caribbean Buddy Hield.
Yeah. NFL owners meetings. Looks like we've got some potential rule changes.
Nah, these are official.
The
NFL. I gave you official.
It says it
well,
does
1
say
through 3
proposed
at least.
here.
No, I wrote the proposed a week ago.
Okay, so
I didn't see 4 and 5 though.
So these are the new ones here, and I think you guys know these. I'll read through these real quick, and we can discuss them briefly. So they want to move the line of scrimmage for extra points permanently to the 15. It was at the 15 this year, or was it the 25 this year?
No, it was at the 15.
So it's a 30. It's a 32 yard. 33. Okay, so yeah, so that's now permanent.
Yeah.
All chop blocks illegal.
which people don't understand. I don't. A lot of times I don't understand the difference, or a lot of people don't understand the difference between chop block and a cut block.
It's like the catch. What's a chop block?
Right.
That's
Well,
the
you know,
debate.
if you're engaged with somebody, it's a chop block. If you're one-on-one, it's fine.
Cut.
It's all good.
Yeah.
So defensive linemen around the world just rejoiced.
Yeah.
The horse collar rule just expanded a bit to when you grab the jersey at the nameplate or above and pull the runner to the ground.
Shout out to T.O.
Does that include the shoulder pad? Like right here?
I don't know, Dan. You'll have to email Roger Goodell.
All right, I'll talk to Raj.
We'll get him on the phone.
Talk to Raj. That'll be great.
He's short in real life, by the way.
Here's something that I saw. It looks like they're going to add what they're calling, essentially it's a red card like in soccer.
Yeah.
And it has to be a specific type of unsportsmanlike conduct penalty in the same game
that
you get
official now?
ejected.
Is
Yes,
that official?
the
It's on a trial basis this year.
Beckham.
Okay. Yeah. And I'm glad they're doing it.
They'll have to ratify it next year for permanent. But this is what they're going to try this year.
Can
what
I
do you
say
guys
what's
think of
funny
that?
about that? That referees have always had the liberty to throw you out of the game for whatever reason. They just don't do it.
Yeah.
Because that happened when I was in high school a couple times. Like cats that were just too lit, got thrown out the game, and coach was like, "Wait, what?" And the dude would be like, "You look right here. It says I can put you out whenever I feel like it, with a short explanation, and we're gonna move on." But just NFL refs don't really execute the power.
I used to get thrown out of like Little League baseball games for dropping like S-bombs and, getting a little angry when I was like 13.
I could see fired up little Brandon getting pissed off.
I would get pissed off. And it was when I struck out. I would just yell it like really.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about that. All right, so
National Dog Day.
I know, National Puppy Day.
Oh, you like that photo, huh?
Yeah. All right. Well, let's just look at it now, just because I think it's amazing. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see this full on your screen right now. This is Dallas and Brandon. How old were you in this picture, Brandon?
Well, I just moved out to Arizona, so probably
Note the Ohio State T-shirt.
It was and note the North Carolina shorts.
We're in the North Carolina. He's repping.
Blasphemy.
And little baby Dallas there.
Yeah. God,
this is adorable.
That was like 2001 or 2002 because we got her in 01. So yeah, it was somewhere in there. So I was like 18, 19 years old. Yeah.
That's amazing. Check it out on YouTube.
That hairstyle though.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right, back to these rule changes. Sorry. Just because I thought that was great. So this one here, they moved the touchback to the 25-yard line. The actual verbiage of the rule is the spot of the next snap after a touchback resulting from a free kick to the 25-yard line.
And I saw a kicker tweet out. It might have been Graham Gano tweeted this out Wednesday, the point that now you may be seeing higher, shorter kicks on kickoffs. I think this could have maybe the biggest effect on the game because you're then going to open up possibly more returners to injury.
Yeah, because they're going to be standing there.
Yeah, exactly.
Cordell.
Right.
Cordero Patterson.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. Like, if, one, your strategy now is to either get a really good kicker who can kick it at the back of the end zone all the time.
Squibbage.
Or,
but then you're giving away a quarter of the field.
Yeah.
You just got to find a way to squib it all the way to get the hop at like the 2015, which can be done.
If your team has a good defense, you don't care about giving up a quarter of the field.
What?
If you're Denver, if you're Seattle, if you're Carolina, you don't care about giving up that quarter of the field because you're not going to let them get a couple of first downs.
Well, the league just wants to see teams score more points. So
yeah.
So my question is, at what point do they just get rid of the kickoff? Like I saw somebody
when
tweet
they
out
do that,
next
Cordero
year.
Patterson has to look for a job.
2018, no more kickoffs. Just start at the 25.
I mean, that's it. Like you just get the ball, you start at the 25. Now I still think you have to have the punt because that is it's an actual possession change play. You don't just give them the ball. But do we think that could happen?
Yeah, I definitely think it could happen. Absolutely.
Yeah, I could see if there's
Might take
enough.
a while.
Yeah, it'll be a while. Can we go back to the red card real quick?
Yeah.
Like the one thing, like when they were first proposed this last week, there was a lot of talk that it could be like personal fouls too. And I'm glad they got rid of personal fouls and that it's two unsportsmanlike conducts because
Of a specific type too. It's
because there's so many chances where you could, let's say you mouth off to an official, he gives you the one, and then let's say you love tap Aaron Rodgers in the backfield and they call you for roughing the passer because he fell down, or something like that. And on the flip side of that, a guy like Aaron Rodgers or Brady or Matt Ryan or Drew Brees or all these guys that go down and they sit there and throw their hands up and complain to the ref every time they get touched. they should get called for an unsportsmanlike for that. That way, maybe they'll stop complaining.
That'd be dope to watch Brady get thrown out of a game.
That would be awesome.
I would stand up and applaud.
I mean, the refs won't do it because they're not throwing guys out of the games, as JP said right now anyway. Yeah. So they're not going to have the stones to do that, but they should implement that if they continue to go along with this rule.
That was actually apparently some of the controversy about that was you could then
because in the NBA, a lot of times guys throw their hands up. I remember I was watching a game. Austin Rivers got 2 technicals in the span of 8 seconds and got tossed. Yep. And it was like because he was just throwing his hands up and he was giving the ref weird looks. And I'm glad they started doing that in the NBA because they, do the officials suck in a lot of sports? Of course they do, but they're there to kind of try to keep control of the game. So the players shouldn't be sitting there trying to run the asylum, so to speak, in that regard. So hopefully they expand on it a little bit more and, get rid of the crybabies or toss them for a game anyway.
And the rest. How can you get rid of Brady?
Well, you're not going to get rid of Brady. He's going to retire in a couple years before this rule becomes definitive anyway.
Remember Tom Terrible says that he's playing until he's 50.
Mm-hmm. I'd love to see that. Yeah. I would love to see that. Because that's 10 years of crappy Patriots football right there.
Hey, did you see that they actually signed Black Unicorn? So since they now have Black Unicorn and Gronk, that kind of reminds me of having Gronk and the Murderer.
Well, no, they're not gonna. Because they signed what's his name? They signed Hogan. They've got Edelman.
From the Bills, yeah.
And then they got Amendola. They're just not gonna play. They're just not gonna run the ball.
But if
running backs whatsoever.
But if you run twins with Gronk and Black Unicorn, that's unstoppable. That's 2 6'6" tight ends.
How often does Gronk get hurt?
Every other day.
Yeah. So you got a little insurance there.
Okay, so 8 games out of the year, you have Gronk and Black Unicorn together.
That's not fair. I know.
Yeah, they should have blocked out like Chris Paul.
JP, what about your boy Alfred heading to Dallas?
Yo, has anybody noticed how incestual the NFC East is?
It really is.
Rueben Randle going to Philly?
Yeah.
I mean,
how about Andy Behrens, your boy?
And he sucks. I mean, I'm saying that he sucks because, he's a premier athlete, don't get me wrong, but he does suck. He runs the wrong routes. He's got paddles for hands. I don't understand how we watch college dudes ball out every year, yet Rueben Randle is still a starting receiver in the NFL, and he's so lackluster. He's one of the weakest LSU products ever.
I totally forgot he went to LSU
right
until JP just brought that up.
Where's Jamarcus?
Jamarcus Rueben Randle. 1A, 1B. But him going to the Eagles means what? They're still going to suck. Mm-hmm. But Alfred Morris going to the Cowboys, man, let's not lie. And I hate Dallas, but that's scary because their offensive line is still great. And if you saw what Spraytan did, at this point in his career, Alfred Morris is way better than Spraytan. His first 2 years in the NFL, he almost led the league in rushing. And people forget about that. Like, Alfred Morris is a hog. But Daniel Snyder's an idiot, and Jay Gruden's an even bigger imbecile. So now he's going to go to Dallas, and they're going to get one step closer to winning that Super Bowl that ESPN so willingly wants them to win so they can put that America's team banner all over our TV screens. But, it's good for Dallas.
Don't hold back, JP.
Yeah, I know. Tell us how you really feel.
I might use expletives, and this is a family program, so try to keep it cool.
Drunk Johnny Manziel in the news once again.
This is great.
So I guess it's a fan vote. They did the greatest Browns players of all time, and there was a fan vote, and you'd go on and you'd vote for it's a bracket, right? And Johnny Manziel was a 16 seed.
This is why Cleveland doesn't have anything nice.
And actually, he won. He defeated the number 1 seed, Jim Brown, in a fan vote.
Because they go on there and mock themselves.
Well, it's John Scott.
They hate it when you mock them on Twitter or anything like that. They are some of the most boisterous trolls that come back at you saying, "Why can't you leave Cleveland alone?" All this kind of stuff. But yet they're going to mock their own team by going in there and voting for a guy that had no business. Even being on the team in the first place. He doesn't even need to be on this bracket. They threw him in there to be funny.
Really funny, though.
I know. I think it's hilarious.
I want to know, what special needs classroom they walked into to take this poll.
There were 11,000 people that voted in this thing. And Manziel won handily. It's 68 to 31.
69%. Shout out to PFT.
I think it's funny. I'm looking at Bernie Kosar, the 2 seed. He's the favorite.
When Bernie Kosar's a 2 seed, that's when you know your franchise is really, really, really.
How is Bernie the 2 over Otto Graham?
And Ozzie Newsome.
Yep.
They're the Browns, for crying out loud. They're the reason they were the team that was chosen for Kevin Costner to run in draft day.
Tim Couch, the 15 seed.
Like that, he doesn't even deserve a mention out of Kentucky.
That's funny. Well, Johnny Football, he claims he's going to be back in the NFL.
Yeah.
He's going to try.
You know what? So am I.
Yeah.
Nah, but peep this, because if Rueben Randle can continue to drop passes and run the wrong routes, Johnny Manziel can get work.
Rueben Randle has at least had a couple of games where he's balled out.
I mean, a couple is 2. I mean, that's fair. 2 games.
Don't put okay. I like to dog Rueben Randle just as much as the next guy, but don't put him in Johnny Manziel's in that category. Don't do that to Rueben Randle.
Okay, Rueben Randle doesn't have any substance abuse issues. I'll give him that as well.
There you
go. He's got a clean slate off the field.
I just want to let you go until you're done with Rueben Randle.
He'll never be done with Rueben Randle.
I'm through with that guy.
I think we should give Rueben Randle the JP in the last round of the fantasy draft just to be funny.
I'm going to run into him in real life one day, too. I can see it now.
He'll run into him at the draft.
Yep. And like Rueben, I'm not taking none of that back, bro.
Other NFL news, Peyton Manning, obviously, since our last taping, I believe, officially announced his retirement right before free agency opened. And, he's going to get a statue in Indianapolis.
First teabagger with the statue ever.
He's going to get a statue in Indianapolis. He probably will get a statue in Denver at some point as well.
Psych? I doubt.
Well, he won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, but...
You don't think so?
He'll get it in Tennessee.
How about a plaque?
He'll get it in Tennessee before he gets it in Denver.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But I don't think he should get it in Tennessee for obvious reasons.
So the question here is, what current sports star should be preparing for what current sports star should have a statue outside their stadium?
You know LeBron's going to get one.
Nah, mine's unpopular because I despise the dude as a basketball player, but it's going to be Kobe.
I think so, too. Yeah. That's a good one.
Kobe will be the first. I mean, he's retiring this year, but he's the first current player that's going to get some love outside of Staples.
You know Brady's going to get one.
Probably.
Brady might get
2, and hopefully one of them
might be
defaced.
On the top of the stadium.
Yeah.
Do they have any in Foxborough?
I don't know, but well,
it'll be Kraft. It'll be Kraft and Brady kissing.
Just hugging it out.
A real warm embrace.
As long as you get Kraft in his Air Force Ones, I'm okay.
Yeah, there you go.
And his cocaine whites.
Yeah.
He was hanging out with Hernandez back then.
What about hockey players? I know this is not for JP, but what about hockey players?
Anson Carter.
Who's been in there I was thinking Datsuk because he's been in Detroit all those years, but they haven't won championships.
I think Datsuk.
PK Subban.
Well, Taves and Kane.
Together. Yeah, you could do that.
Jerome and Galia.
Iginla, but yeah.
Should we go back to episode 1 and do a European city?
Yeah. JP's going to the Leiter brothers now.
Yeah.
Grant Furr?
Yeah.
Well, Jerome scored a ton of goals, and Anson Carter has some of the best hands of any hockey player.
Donald Brashear.
Evander Kane.
I was a big Lindros fan, too, because he punished people.
Not a brother.
Lindros would have got one if he didn't get concussed.
But he was always hurting people, though.
Mm-hmm.
What about baseball? Who's a guy in baseball?
Cal Ripken. And they should make it out of iron.
Yeah,
and it
that's
should be
easy.
Are we going current or?
Let's go current since that's how we frame the question.
Hey, Evan's gonna get beat up.
The Costner drop.
Hey, he might hurt you for that.
Current baseball player that's been obviously had to be with the same team for a long time.
Jeter.
Yeah, Jeter.
But he's not current anymore.
Well, okay, but yeah. Jeter and Mo, they'll get a dual statue together.
Jeter's dating record will always keep him current.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Yankees, A-Rod announces he's going to retire and then says, "No, I'm not going to retire." That all happened today.
Oh, I saw the thing about him saying he was going to retire. I didn't know he took it back.
Yeah, it's.
Do people care about him?
Did someone tell him that there was no take backsies?
Once you say that, we're already preparing your farewell tour.
Yeah.
Mulligan.
They already started making your gifts at all your final stops.
He said,
"Do you think he'll ever be sponsored by a syringe company?"
Do you know a syringe company?
Well, but see, that actually brings me to my question. I know this is something that we could probably talk about ad nauseum, but since I thought he was retiring after his 2017 after his contract
he's going to
expired,
retire at some point.
Yeah, okay, but hypothetically speaking, given everything we know about A-Rod and Bonds and Clemens, is he a Hall of Famer?
Victor Conti should give him a special plaque once he finally calls it quits. Or any of the
Clemens and Bonds get a little gift basket from Victor Conti.
Any of the big steroid companies. Well, Clemens actually failed, and Barry Bonds still never failed a drug test. So it remains that Barry is the only clean out of the group.
But I think the voters will still group him in that Bonds category in terms of Hall of Fame worthiness.
But he's not as good as Barry Bonds.
The difference.
He was on track to pass him and break the home run record for a while there. Until he got hurt late in his career.
But what about all those errors? Did we forget about those?
No, that doesn't matter. I think in terms of voting, it's you set the home run record, you're getting in the Hall of Fame.
Well, and Bonds was a defensive liability and left there at the end.
Yeah.
At the end.
At the end, I'm just saying
After
he was
Pittsburgh.
pretty much. I mean, once he got big, he couldn't move around as quickly as.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd put it if you're gonna eventually if you're gonna put Barry Bonds in the Hall of Fame, you got to put A-Rod in.
Agreed.
Or if you're gonna put A-Rod in,
Yes,
then you got to put Bonds in.
Well, whatever this little order is, Barry better be first.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, he did retire first, so he
technically he's first in line.
would be.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now it's a 10-year period. You have to get in.
How many? A-Rod's got a title, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
09 to be.
Yeah. Okay.
I want Peter Rose and Barry to go in together, give joint speeches.
Holding hands, skipping through the meadows.
I just want them to get up there and just talk some noise.
So let's say he doesn't retire after his contract ends with the Yankees. I know, but do they re-sign him, or who resigns him, or is it like a Barry thing where it's just like, Barry brings him in?
The Marlins.
Oh, then you could have them both.
So
Then you bring in Clemens to coach the pitchers.
That'd be great.
Oh, wow.
It'd be a freaking sideshow there.
Do you bring in Sammy Sosa with the bleach?
Baseball would be very, very good to him.
All right, it is spring training. Should we make some ridiculous World Series picks right now?
Houston.
Do we like the Astros to win the World
I
Series?
like the Astros.
Why don't you like the Orioles? We got Manny
like the Cubs.
Machado.
I have nothing but love for Manny Machado. I don't dislike Manny Machado.
Evan's going to say the Oakland A's.
I don't like your pitching staff.
I like Sonny Gray a lot.
Sonny Gray's not going to be with the A's halfway through the year.
All right, so the odds, the futures in Vegas have the Cubs as number one at 4.5 to 1. It's 9 to 2. So
is Moises Alou still there?
They're the heavy favorite as far as people putting money on them right now. The Giants are number 2.
Is it because every other year?
Even year.
Yeah, I'm sure that's just people betting on it because the Mets, then we go the Red Sox, and then the Astros are at 5, and the Royals 6. I'm surprised.
Astros. Biggio and
Bagwell
Bagwell
actually too, but
And Derek Bell. Don't forget Derek Bell.
So who do you think? So you're going to take the Astros?
I'll take the Astros.
What do you think, Ev?
I want to say the Mets because that pitching rotation is going to be ridiculous. But
David Wright's not healthy.
with Roberto Colon?
Wright, Murphy's gone. Can Jonas keep it up? Will he crash his car?
Wow. Which one?
Exactly.
Or will he crash the camel he rode in on that one day? Was it a camel or a horse? I think it was a horse.
That was Marchand on the.
It was a llama.
Oh, Marchand was on the camel. Right. Yeah, sorry.
I'll go Cubs.
I'm going Albert Bell and the Orioles.
Albert Bell.
Former Cleveland Indian great Albert Bell.
That's right.
All right. So
Brady Anderson.
will you give me
With the sideburns.
Will you give me $100, and when I go to Reno, I'll put the 55 to 1. We'll put $100 on them for you.
Mike Mussina.
55 to 1.
Ooh. Remember, hey, Michael's on the mound dueling.
I skipped class. I skipped school to go see Mussina pitch opening day at Camden Yards.
I think I've seen Mussina pitch
Education is very important, Brandon.
No,
3 or 4
screw
times.
it. I'm doing fine.
You said I'm doing fine.
I'll take Boston. Why not?
The Red Sox?
I'm just gonna. They're the 4th on the list.
The
Nobody picked them.
Patriots?
Yeah, exactly.
With Fat
Exactly.
Pablo?
If I can get Tom Brady to play for him.
Fat Panda?
Fat Pablo.
Fat Panda looks like
Twins,
he looks
Twins
big.
The Twins are 4-0 against the Red Sox in spring training.
Hey,
so that
Fat-
doesn't bode well for your pick.
The Twinks 60 to 1 to win it all.
Hey, throw $10 on them.
Athletics 80 to 1. Yeesh.
I'll put $10 on that.
Yeah. I'll
100.
give you $10.
Give me 100.
Oh, he wants to do 100.
Yeah. I'll bring you back what,
C note.
$8,000.
It's not
Keep
worth
it,
$100.
keep it 100.
$100.
He said it's not worth it.
What are your picks? What are your picks? Send it to us at the Bullpen
Oh, I
Pod.
was like, we just gave them to you, Dan.
Just told you.
Hello,
that.
friends.
Masters coming up. By the way, hello, friends.
I know. That's we'll have another taping before then.
Yeah, we'll have it.
better.
Yeah. That
We'll have
week,
to make our
the week
Masters picks.
The week I get back.
15 days.
Is Tiger playing?
Nope. Nope. All right, it's Ask JP time here on the Bullpen Podcast. We did receive a couple of questions late today from our good friend Cliff, the Mason Report, on Twitter.
Future Mayor of Santa Ana.
He's always got a good, insightful question, and it'll get us a chance to talk about the Warriors here. His first question:
Sometimes.
What does the San Antonio win over Golden State mean for the inevitable
Can I answer
Western
this
Conference Finals? Ask JP.
Well, I mean,
you can defer.
He rose his hand like a great student.
You can defer if you want.
Go ahead.
The answer is nada. Iguodala and Boga didn't play. That's all you need to know.
What do you think, JP?
I actually like what I have been saying about the way to beat these guys, even if they're full strength, is that you need to attack Steph. Tired Steph doesn't bode well for the rest of the squad.
Did you watch the T-Wolves game the other night?
No,
I saw the end.
Rubio, he didn't attack him on the offensive end, but he attacked him pretty good on the defensive end.
Why didn't he attack him on offense with the
No,
ball?
well, Steph turned the ball over 4 times in the third quarter.
Not being funny, so how'd you lose?
No, it was a close game.
Yeah, it was.
all the way down to the end.
Then what happened?
The T-Wolves couldn't hit shots. Wiggins couldn't hit shots in the fourth quarter.
He had a terrible play where he tried to hit a turnaround fadeaway. At the end.
They were literally it was tied with like 10 seconds left. They were in the whole game.
Got it. Well, Mills and Parker dogged
But
him
again,
on
they
both
also
ends.
didn't have the guys he mentioned. So, but yeah, no, you're right. I think that the Steph thing you gotta.
Like, as long as you can chop the head off of the dragon, like, the rest of the body doesn't really matter, because even Andre's not going to carry the squad. Bogut is soft. I mean, he's a role player. I mean, Klay Thompson, it depends on, like, how he wakes up in the morning or which strain of kush he had the night before to see how great he's going to play. I mean, Harrison Barnes, another one, Jekyll and Hyde. If you take Steph out of the equation, like, they struggle to find, like, the answers.
Yeah.
I mean, Draymond's cool, but Kerr put in his mind that he's not supposed to shoot. So now he's just looking for triple doubles. So, I mean, and plus Pop, I mean, the Warriors have the best team. We know that. But Pop's still the best coach.
Yep.
So he'll always put his team in positions to win. And as long as they execute, like, they have an excellent shot at dethroning the champ. So that game, granted the Warriors were not full strength, just proved, like, we're going to play defense and we're going to make Steph work for every single basket. And when he's not hitting in the fourth quarter, like, you're going to lose because you're tired and then we're going to run you. I mean, LaMarcus Aldridge played out of his mind. Granted, it's still one regular season game, but, I mean, if he duplicates that in the playoffs, everybody in the West will be in trouble.
So let's look at this real quick. They're 63-7. The record is 72-10, right? So they need to win all but 2. If they were to lose 2 games, they would actually set the record. Let's look at these real quick. Today, the day of the taping, they're playing the Clippers tonight.
Win.
They've got the Mavs on Friday.
Win.
76ers on Sunday.
Loss. Trap game.
They're going to be looking ahead to the Warriors.
I mean, honestly, do you
the
think
Wizards.
so?
Yeah.
No, I don't think they're going to lose to the 76ers at home.
Oh, I said it's a home game?
Yeah, it's a home.
It's
game.
at home.
Oh, never
yeah.
mind.
It's not in
So then they have the
Philly.
Wizards at home on Tuesday.
L.
You think they lose?
Because they're going to be drunk after beating the 76ers.
All right, we'll get back to that in a minute.
Game after that, the next night they go to Utah.
Yeah, so that's a back-to-back, so that could be
that'll
potential.
be tough.
Oh, so they'll be close against the Wizards and then lose to Gordon Hayward?
Then they have the Celtics at home on April Fool's Day.
I don't think they're going to do it.
Then they got Portland at home. They got a lot of home games.
That stretch at the end, Spurs, Grizzlies.
Yeah,
that looks
to back
really,
to back. Yeah.
like, because you're just going to get beat up.
And then they got the Spurs on
you
the
see-
back end of a.
And Matt
of a
Barnes is
back-to-back.
lit. If Derek Fisher keep posting pictures kissing people in the mouth,
Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
going to hit Steph across the face.
literally, he'll clothesline him and not trip. And Steph has kind of made a glass, so he could be in trouble.
Yeah, 9 of 12 at home, but they've got a back-to-back where the back end they go to Utah, and then a back-to-back at Memphis, at San Antonio, after playing San Antonio at home.
Yeah, that's tough.
I think they could. I think they might be right on the number.
Yeah,
I think
they
it's a
drop
tie.
They're gonna
3.
tie?
Yeah, I
That's
think they
possible.
lose to Utah. They lose to in San Antonio, and they lose one other game, probably one of the Memphis games.
God, that Lakers loss really sucks. That's the one, man.
So Laker
They
fans,
lost to the Blazers too, but
Laker fans, y'all need to pick, okay? The question is, do y'all want more free tacos or do you want Ben Simmons?
yeah.
You got to choose one. Beggars aren't allowed to be choosers, man. Make up your mind. Like, are they trying to spoil things for the other teams or for themselves?
That's a valid question. That's JP asks.
yes, there you go. Use that hashtag
Reply-
when you respond.
Reply back, Laker fans.
All right, our next Ask JP question, also from Cliff at the Mason Report. He asks, if you were an NFL GM in need of a quarterback, would you draft Connor Cook despite his lack of intangibles,
No.
JP?
If I had a 7th round pick and we were just trying to fill space, or I had Mr. Irrelevant to take care of, maybe. But he's kind of he's more of the unathletic, not as sexy Jared Goff.
He's got a lot of Christian Ponder in him.
Because, Jared Goff's teammates don't love him, but Jared Goff's a baller.
Yeah.
All his teammates said he's a terrible leader, which isn't fine, but you might be able to teach him some skills and some seminars. But Connor Cook isn't really that great. He's also a bad teammate.
Yeah.
I don't think
and he disrespected Archie Griffin.
Yeah, and then tried to backhand apologize about it later. So I don't feel like he'll ever lead an NFL franchise in anything but more mediocrity. Sorry, Algernon Toby.
Yeah.
Evan?
I'm looking at, what I was thinking of was I was going to ask you, if you put him in the right situation behind a veteran who he could learn those leadership.
You put him in
traits
New
from.
England, but they've already got one.
That'd be if he was Garoppolo, he'd have to be behind Brady.
Or you put him behind Aaron Rodgers.
What if you put him in New Orleans behind Breeze now that he's got the extension?
But then he'd have to throw the ball a lot, and that's still not going to work.
Yeah.
Leadership doesn't equal skill.
Yeah, because that drive that they had against Iowa in the Big Ten title game, that was pretty much all the running game.
He could also be behind that disgusting mid-major quarterback, but that also would require him to throw the ball over 30 times a game, which would then fail.
Arizona?
No, Pittsburgh.
Wow.
Carson Palmer didn't go to a mid-major.
Yeah, he went to...
Not Pittsburgh Panthers. Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, the mid-major
That
quarterback
fight
that he
on
doesn't
crap
like
away.
to...
So I'm just looking at a couple of mock drafts here, and they've got him as a first-round pick.
Never.
No.
I mean,
Who?
just right here, this is CBS Sports' mock
Fire
draft. It's
him.
a little bit older. But
Fire him.
Who's the
Was
name on top of the
it a
article?
mock draft from August?
It wasn't Bucky Brooks
Dane
or Daniel
Brugler.
Jeremiah.
I'm just
Yeah, no.
Don't shoot the
no,
messenger.
I'm sorry, but that person
It
should
wasn't
be
Sean
fired.
King.
and if you look at
Yeah.
you search him, it's coming up as going to the Texans.
I could see that. Now that they've got Brock, they might not do the Hackenberg thing.
Oh, perfect. The 49ers are going to hold a private workout with him. Great.
Connor Cook to the Niners.
Yo, could you imagine Chip Kelly running a little spread with Connor Cook?
He wouldn't know what to do.
Oh, that is amazing. He would be like, pull it, throw it, fumble it, fall down.
the ball just hits him in the face mask and he
Grab
just,
my
like,
knee.
looks around.
He's the guy that tries to call timeout and gets hit with a snap.
Sports Illustrated's latest one has the Broncos taking him at 31.
Wow. What is John Elway doing if he does that?
Well,
I know it's a mock draft.
Mark Sanchez is who you want to learn from, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of fight on, JP.
But fumble.
Did you see?
You're
Did you
saving
see
that.
T.J. Ward on the NFL Network? And Lindsey Soto asked him about how they were going to recover. He was like, "We got a little bit of an uphill battle." And then she asked him, was he surprised that Brock left? And he took another elongated pause. He's like, "Actually, I was." And then then she asked him about the current quarterback. She was like, I don't think we're done yet.
Yeah, well, yeah, they're going to draft a quarterback. The Broncos are.
That's an interesting situation with the Broncos, but I'm not a Connor Cook fan at all.
But all you got to do all you got to do as a quarterback for the Broncos, just score 14 points, and you've got a great shot to win.
Yeah, what did Peyton Manning had two touchdowns at the end of the year at home? 2?
Yeah.
So I mean that anybody could have did that. Didn't the 49ers quarterback have more touchdowns at home than Peyton Manning had all season?
probably.
Blaine Gabbert.
And he only started half a year?
Mm-hmm.
So there's that.
Well, send your Connor Cook thoughts to us
Talking
at the
about Thad
Bullpen
Lewis?
Pod. Thad Lewis.
The Thad Lewis.
That's going to be amazing.
First and foremost, we are all fans here in the Bullpen. We haven't done this in a while, but we have a couple
Wait,
of matchups coming up
pause.
here.
Are you ready
going
for
back to
Brad
Thad?
Evans to do a fearless forecast on
Thad Lewis?
Oh, man.
Are Barons having to talk about Thad Lewis at length in clips?
I'm waiting for Barons to have to talk about Rueben Randle because there's going
Sleepers
to
and
be
keepers?
a slew of injuries to the Eagles receivers, and we're going to have to talk about Rueben Randle.
Gosh, why?
All right, couple of matchups here. Let's start with the Wizards and Warriors. We'll have Evan and JP do this one since it's their squads. They're playing Tuesday.
Street Fighter style?
A few days away from our taping right here. What do you guys think? Let's get a final score prediction. You guys want to put a wager on here?
I'm not really impressed
Should we start
by
the tradition?
by the Wizards this year, man. Like, if they win this game,
More importantly, Rihanna gets John Wall's jersey. Drake's, now buddies with Steph. Do they show up together to Oracle?
Ooh.
I mean, Rihanna, she's top 3 now. I mean, she's up there with Erykah Badu. I don't think you want to touch that toxic.
Whoa! With Erykah Badu?
I'm talking
Who's the third one?
who's at the top of the make you go crazy list. Erica's first.
Any Kardashian.
Oh, this is a make you go crazy list.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why John Wall's probably done, because if he tasted that sweet nectar, it's a wrap.
Thanks for coming.
Is it still sweet
Literally.
nectar if it makes you crazy?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, look what Erykah Badu did to everybody she had a baby with. Man, they all turned weird. Jay Electronica still ain't dropped that album.
What about Andre?
He started dressing funky, wearing shoulder pads with no jersey and fluffy pants.
Fair.
Matt Kemp's still on a milk carton.
Right? I mean, like these women are soul snatchers.
I can't argue with
Any
that.
Kardashian.
Come on, Rihanna had cats fighting in the club over her, and she wasn't even there. You throwing bottles at people for Rihanna, and she's not present? I don't want no parts of that, man. Keep her all the way away from me. Has anybody seen Erykah Badu in person? It's dangerous. It's dangerous. Don't look her in the eye. Okay, and don't watch her when she turns around and walks away. Like, it'll be a wrap. It's like Medusa.
I was just gonna say that.
It'll turn your soul into stone. So wait, so you telling me that John Wall messing with Riri now? I mean, the Wizards, they might as well just pack it up.
All right, so
the Wizards are currently losing to the Atlanta Hawks. There's 8 minutes left. It's 95-83, and it's all John Wall's fault. First he left Adidas, and I thought that everything was on the up and up, and then I just get this news.
Related again, by the way.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you gonna?
How does Nike call Steph Curry Stefan?
yeah, I don't know, man.
How do you screw that up?
Maybe because he's so square, so they were trying to make an Urkel joke.
I see what you did there.
Man, they
That screwed that one up.
messed
That's
that
a
up,
fascinating story, by the way.
It really was interesting.
But did you see Velasquez's best friend, Darren Rovell? Posted that picture of Nike's projected earnings against what they actually earned compared to their competitors. It was pretty good, and at the bottom of the list was Skechers. I'm not sure why Skechers would ever be.
Well, doesn't Joe Montana? Doesn't he?
Is he
do Sketcher commercials?
He's a part of that. I
Yeah.
mean, Nike is killing everyone still. I wanted to tweet Kanye, but Kanye don't tweet back. But
No,
I mean,
he only tweets
when
for
he has
like
Wi-Fi.
5 minutes a day.
When he has Wi-Fi.
Every other week.
So funny.
But I mean, Nike is killing it without Steph. I
Didn't
mean,
I see
Yeah,
somewhere they made
they're
like
doing
$8
okay.
billion in a quarter.
They're doing all right.
Yeah,
here it is.
They're doing fine, but I mean, he's probably the top player in the game right
Yeah.
now.
I mean, look at their
But,
earnings.
here's the thing: like how
Last
many,
year, Nike earned $33 billion. Adidas was second with maybe 21, which is still a lot. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but Under Armour, granted they're just getting traction, they didn't even crack $5 billion.
Well, and that's the thing too with Steph. Like, how many people? Like, if you ask even NBA fans who watch it a lot, how many of them know that Steph Curry's probably an Under Armour guy? I guarantee you, not many of them know that.
He's on enough now with commercials. I would think people.
I don't see a ton of Under Armour commercials.
As a
now.
recovering, I agree with you. The marketing for Under Armour is shoddy.
Yeah.
But taking it one step further, as a recovering sneakerhead, I should have never did that. Steph's shoes are ugly. Like, first and foremost, his shoe is ugly. So when you see a pair of J's, LeBron is now making his money because of his name in the media. So anybody's going to buy his shoe regardless of how dirty it is. His first 3 sneakers were amazing. Like, the conception, the design, like the functionality was second to none. Kobe, who I've never loved, for the last 4 years has had the best basketball shoe of anyone.
He started the low cut back to the low
Yeah.
cut.
Mm-hmm.
But the actual, like, if you put on a pair of Kobe's, it'll change your life. Like, you'll really think that you could go out there and drop 45 and not break a sweat.
On Jalen Rose.
Ooh, 81.
I'm gonna go buy some of those Kobe's tomorrow for the cruise.
I'm just doing what you do, JP.
Jalen, block Evan
I'm
now.
just throwing it in there.
Block him now. But Steph's shoes they're hideous. Like, you can pull up any variation of Steph's, and they're bad.
Yeah.
So why would I want to buy the bad shoe of the best player? Like, I don't.
No.
And granted that he's just now being the GOAT currently in the league popularity-wise. I mean, Under Armour kind of sucks in design.
Yeah.
And you saw Nike just stole Under Armour's lead designer. Like, their lead guy just went to Nike and signed a major contract, which means the dude who made the ugly shoes is now about to step his life up and make better shoes with a competitor. So
It's hard to argue. That's
All right,
logic.
so
Hashtag
back
logic
real
right there.
quick. You guys want to make a pick on this game next week?
I know,
Wizards
yeah,
Warriors.
he's got on a
Wow, we went on a
tangent.
big tangent there. Come on. I don't need to say it.
I'm going to say that John Wall underperforms because of the night before.
All right, well, Sharks and Stars are back at it this weekend. Brobes will be in attendance. And we brought the cribbage
No, I'm not
board.
going to be in attendance.
I thought you were going with your dad.
No, I'm going to be on a flight.
Oh, that's right. You're gone.
I'm going to be on a flight.
We didn't even talk about your cruise.
Heading out
we'll
to
get
Houston.
to that.
Houston.
But anyway, the cribbage board that we bet
Wait, you're
earlier in
going
the
to
year
Houston?
is back.
Oh, I got to go to Houston to go to Galveston. To get
How
on the
long
boat.
are you going to be in Houston?
Did you go the last time that they were here?
No. Yeah, I did.
That's what I
did.
was thinking.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
How long are you in Houston?
We'll talk about that.
Wait, so are you? But that's fine. We can talk on the podcast.
We can get lunch. We'll get lunch on the way back.
Are you gonna go to Onyx?
No. No. No, I'm with the family and the girlfriend. I'm not. No.
I mean, besides mom, you should take the girlfriend, dad. I mean, that's a nice bonding trip right there. I like the way that sounds. You, pops, and her. I mean, hey. And they
I got the whole family.
And they got lunchtime specials. Half off wings.
We're not in Houston long enough on the way back. Maybe on the way back.
All right, that's fair.
Oh, man. All right, well, Stars Sharks, the cribbage board is back. I've added a Sharks paraphernalia to it. Now,
What?
officially, there's a Sharks.
Wow.
I started small
That's
so that when I win
blasphemous.
again.
I think he defaced it.
That's
oh, no,
blasphemous.
it's going to get bad. I got
The
a bunch of stuff
resale
for
value
this.
on the thing just dropped.
Oh, no, this thing's staying in the family for a while. I fully intend to hold on to this, so it is back up for contention this weekend. What do you think's going to happen, bros?
They're gonna have to hold on to it because he doesn't want it now.
Yeah.
No, because he can put whatever he wants right on top of it.
How are you gonna get that sticker off without defacing the actual paint?
I'm gonna have to
Would you
chop
not
that
worry
corner.
about it's a
Woodwork.
cribbage board we bet on a hockey game. Who gives a crap about defacing it?
You know what? They're kind of on a roll right now. If they can win, my brother's actually going to the game on Thursday in Phoenix, and if they win that one, like that'll be 3 in a row, I think, without Tyler Seguin, which is big for them. But Lettinen's playing well right now. I'm gonna give us a 3-2 win in the Shark Tank this time around because we should have won that last damn game. We lost it in overtime. They were playing zone defense on 3-on-3. I don't know why you play zone defense.
You gotta pick a guy.
They're playing a triangle zone defense with 3-on-3. It was
Jim
stupid.
Boeheim of hockey.
Yeah, it was terrible.
I actually agree with you. I think the cribbage board will change hands. I think the Sharks are going to.
You can just send it to the ship if you want.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll just hand it
airmail
over.
Airmail it to the ship.
I think the Sharks are going to crap themselves here for like 4 or 5 games, like they tend to do. I didn't see a lot last night that really excited me. So
just reverse jinx the whole team.
no, I mean literally, I think they're gonna have a nice little losing streak right here, and then they'll win like 3 in a row going into the postseason. So,
did anybody know that Lululemon was a competitor of Nike?
He's going back to the shoes.
really,
Yo, Darren Ravel's a weirdo.
Just look at his Twitter bio picture.
We never talked about when Porzingis crossed him up and Ravel made that weird howl and almost fell down at that.
Oh my God, that was funny.
At that charity event.
Yeah.
I didn't really know what he looked like, but he's kind of like a stubby dwarf.
Yeah.
Yep.
But his athleticism
Whose
is probably
phone
13.
is never charged.
all right. I think that's gonna do it for this edition of the Bullpen. Let's wrap it up. We'll be back in a couple weeks
2
after
weeks.
the national championship. Probes will be back from his cruise. We can't wait to hear about all the exploits at Onyx and so on.
Zip
Hey
lining.
now,
And Evan's
is
gonna head
that
to,
what they call it now? Zip line?
Zip lining.
If you're
sure.
if you're in Houston for the Final Four or you live in Houston,
Hit me up.
Say hi to Evan. He'll be there,
He'll be at Onyx working.
quote unquote. And do keep in touch with us at the Bullpen Pod, bullpenpodcast@gmail.com, gentlemen.
Happy birthday, Alessandra. R.I.P.